Yo, 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 let's wake it up. It's prime time and we are talking wrestling. Welcome to the monthly episodic show. This is the Nation of Conversation and we are excellence of non-execution. This is the place where we don't need to lie, cheat, or steal. This is the Three Amigos Show podcast.
Podcast.
As our illustrious host, Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel has said before, this is the show by us and it's for you, ladies and gentlemen. If this is your first time here, welcome to the show. If you are returning, welcome back. Speaking of first, as always, first and foremost, as always, there's no shook hands in Brooklyn. If you don't know me, you will. I am the voice and the people's choice, brilliant, bright, but always willing to fight. I am Brandon Dodds. And our second amigo, repping Flatbush to the fullest. He's the grand opening and the grand closing. He's Mr. High Profile himself. He is the Panamanian God. He is the Mesha. He.
Talk to me nicely. Talk to me nicely.
You ready to do this?
Yes.
There's been a lot to talk about. We're going to get into that. But last and certainly not least, he is lyrical. He is miracle. He is spiritual. He is criminal. He is minimal. He is bare minimum. Aluminum bars. He is the host, formerly known as Diesel Washington. He is Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel. What's good, Sour Diesel? How's your week? How's everything going?
It's going.
At least it's going. It might be slow motion, but in motion. At least it's going. We want y'all to join in on the Nation of Conversation. If you don't already, subscribe, like, share, comment, join the conversation. Remember, stay tuned to the entire show, just in case you might be able to gain access to exclusive prizes, giveaways. We never know what sometimes we're going to do here. Speaking of joining the conversation, we're not here alone today. We have a guest who will be joining us on the line, Mr. Jordan Hope. He's an athlete. He's untouchable. He's a pro wrestler and all that. When he joins us, we'll have him come in on the call. Nonetheless, we're going to move forward with the show. Match out. It's time to talk wrestling. What you got on the docket today to talk about in pro wrestling?
We got a lot to talk about.
Okay.
We got a lot. So, since we were away last week, we didn't have a chance to talk about Night of Champions.
Oh, okay.
All right. So, but before anything else, we want to welcome in Jordan Holt into, the conversation this evening.
All right, I got an intro for him. My fault. He is an athlete, the untouchable. He's a pro wrestler, like I said. It's about to get ugly in here. He's a member of the Ugly Gang from Detroit to Charlotte. If you're looking for the joke and boat and wrestling, is here. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen, for Mr. Jordan Ho.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate y'all.
King? Welcome to the show.
How y'all doing?
Fantastic.
We well.
Good to hear that. Thanks for having me, y'all.
No problem.
You sure you're a professional wrestler, or you like a late night DJ host? Because you got that smooth voice on you. Like he said, yeah, it's going really all right, man. It's going
Hey,
good.
man.
Hal Jackson, a run for his money. Wow.
Hey, man, that's my like it.
Welcome to the show. As always, we're going to talk a little bit about wrestling. We'll ask you a few questions. I don't know if you're familiar with the format. We'll ask you a few questions, get the audience, and get everyone who is tuned in, who's probably tuned in to see you or speak, get to know you. We'll ask you a few questions. Then we talk about wrestling. You let us know what you think as well if you feel like you want to join in the conversation, because it's the Nation of Conversation. So you had a remarkable showing this year. I'm going to get to Ashe Wrestling. Don't worry. I'm not forgetting about that. At DreamCon, you took on Adon Vega. I mean, there was frog splashes. There was tope suicidas. There was flying hip tosses. Just an impeccable showing. Really, you were one of the most sort of wrestlers after DreamCon this year. Tell us a little bit about that experience. How'd you get it? How'd you join?
I had to show off for the people. You feel me?
Okay.
I definitely felt that pressure to give everybody a good show. It was so many people there. and DreamCon was a big goal of mine. You know what I'm saying? Uh, so I had to show out. It was no other choice. Uh, as far as how I got there, man, very low key last minute. So that's
Okay.
why I'm so blessed to have been on it. Because nobody had to put me on that. They did not have to give me the opportunity, but I'm so glad they did. So they had wrestling at DreamCon years prior.
Okay.
My first DreamCon was last year in Austin. No wrestling whatsoever. I reached out to the people, to the right people. They just said they didn't have it. They weren't doing it. They were going with a different, direction. So I was like, all right, well, whatever. I'm still going. Uh, Still had a good time in Austin. This year, I figured it was the same deal. No wrestling, whatever, whatever. Still got my ticket. I'm gonna still go. Uh, I checked the schedule like a week before just to add some last minute stuff on there, and I see Fight Club Pro Wrestling on there. And I remember with Ashe, we did a collaborative show with them in Indiana earlier this year. And I've always
Okay.
been a fan of what Fight Club has been doing too. That's been one of my goals to be on their show. Uh, so I seen them on there. I was like, man, hold on. When did this get on there? Because I didn't know nothing about this. I would have been reached out.
Mm.
Last second, very last second, I reached out to Darius Lockhart again. We did that collaborative show. So I reached out to him. I was like, hey, who I got to talk to? Darius put me with the right people. Next thing you know, they're like, all right, cool. Well, come out. Uh, then that Friday, that day of, I still don't know if I'm wrestling yet. I'm just helping out. So I don't know what I don't know. I'm just helping out, but I'm
You
glad to
like
do it.
building the ring and stuff?
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
Paying
I'm
dues.
helping with that. Exactly. So I'm helping with that. It's still cool to be around at DreamCon, of course. Uh, we get finished and he like, hey, I'm gonna have you versus you. I said, oh, okay, cool, bet, bet, bet. So luckily, I had my gear just in case. As always, you're always supposed to take your gear with you
Stay ready
if
so
there's
you ain't gotta
any
get
ever
ready.
opportunity.
So
Always, exactly. So that's how it happened.
it was a spontaneous opportunity. That was
Very,
that came in
very,
your grace. That's good.
very.
That's crazy.
So
You went from seat 19, row 19, seat
To in the
4
ring.
to actually performing in the
yup,
ring, all because you were paying dues and being in the right place in the right time. You mentioned Darius
man.
Lockhart, and I want to ask you, how important to you is representation in professional wrestling, knowing that he is, kind of like the Svengali that's behind, Ashe Wrestling. And so,
Hmm.
what does representation mean to you? Why? How is it important, or is it important?
No, it's very important.
Okay.
If you say it's not, hey man, look, look at where we at right now. Look at everybody on
Mm.
the screen right now. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Look at y'all logo. Come on now. Like you can't sit up and tell me representation ain't important. You know what I'm saying? And we've seen that with different cultures. So whatever. But to me it's very important. You know what I mean? I look back at myself when I was a kid. I
Mm.
always attach myself to somebody like Jazz, somebody like even Shelton Benjamin, Orlando Jordan, The Rock, Booker T, whoever, Elix Skipper. It doesn't matter. If you look like me, I'ma always see what you're talking about.
Mm.
That bare minimum, I gotta see what you're talking about. I ran a whole season mode with I think it was Rodney Mack. Oh, Here Comes the Pain, just because, like, bro, I gotta like, whatever.
Mm.
Like, let me see if I can get a brother to the championship. You know what I mean? So that's always been a big deal with me. Even when I like watch it with my family, I remember my aunties and uncles seeing like Teddy Long on there. So they went from watching it with me, like, okay, who was that? Who was that? Whatever, whatever. Oh, you watching wrestling? Teddy Long come on the screen. Now they watching it with me.
Mm.
It's not just Jordan watching wrestling. It's no, we all watch wrestling as a family. Not because they see Teddy Long on the screen hitting his little dance or you know what I mean, like stuff
Yeah,
like
I get
that.
it.
You can't.
I get it.
So,
I get it. And
so
now
you're
it's
originally
become, that's why WWE, at least that's, or WCW at the time, is like considered family entertainment because the whole family could get involved because
Hmm.
you knew an uncle that was like Teddy Long, right? You knew somebody in your family that
Yes.
Teddy Long represented. We were
Yes.
talking a little bit like amongst
Teddy
ourselves,
Longest.
me and my friends, and we were talking about like how the wrestlers have went from like the Coco Beware, the Two Cold Scorpios, the Ernest Cat Millers to the Booker
Hmm.
T's, the Shelton Benjamin, the R Truths, the
Yeah.
Kofi Kingstons, and Jazz, as you mentioned too,
Hmm.
Jacqueline, those
right.
legends. So you mentioned Darius Lockhart. We talked about Ashe wrestling. You and the Ugly Gang, right? Y'all wrestled at the illustrious Ashe event. For those that are not familiar with Ashe, maybe you can tell people from your experience what the Ashe Return of the King Wrestling event was all about. Talk about how it was an honor. It was, and what was your game plan going into the match?
Dude. Oh man, where do I start? Okay.
The
Just to
beginning.
be at Ashe is also a blessing. You know what I mean? Just it's so many people that would love to be on it. So many people that have gotten an opportunity that want to come back. So to be on it consistently,
Mm-hmm.
that's amen. You know what I'm saying? I'm very happy for that. Uh as far as Return of the King, that's Cedric Alexander coming back to Charlotte. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
His stomping grounds where he trained. I missed him by this much.
Dang,
We
I was gonna
trained
ask
at
you
the
about
same
that.
place, trained by the same person. I just missed him. I missed him. I
Mm.
missed him by like a year or two. But it's cool. It is what it is. I know him now. That's big bro. I'm cool. You know what I mean?
Mm.
He's giving me advice. You know what I'm saying? He has ideas for me. Like that type of stuff. Hey,
Mm.
look, it's cool. You find people when you're supposed to. Uh, so to be on that show, that's pretty much centered around him, and there's also so many stories going on as always with Ashe. You got Darius Lockhart versus Darius Carter for the World Championship. You
Mhm.
got the women's tournament going on. You got Darian Bingston and Owen Knight. You got the culmination of the Ugly Game versus Demon Time. So this is a big fight field. This is a big event, and it's our first time at Slingshot here in Charlotte. It's a great venue. I've been there plenty of times, just out and about. It's nightlife, right? So I've been there. So to have everything come full circle and be able to wrestle there, fire.
Mm.
And you got people from all over coming through. We had people from Atlanta, Maryland. I think we had people from the West Coast coming through. We had people from like, hey man, yo, we had
Wow,
everybody in there. So
wow. So that really shows the impact of, how just Ashe Wrestling and then how the
mhm,
card was built up. You guys of course participated. You talked a little bit about like when Teddy Long came on with your family.
mhm.
You said you're originally from Detroit, right?
Yes, sir.
You are okay, and you moved to North Carolina. How was that transition? How was life like in Detroit, and how was the transition to North Carolina?
Uh, I miss Detroit. I do.
Okay.
I do. Uh, it was hard at first. I was very homesick at the very beginning. Now I've become very accustomed to Charlotte, especially with wrestling. Now it's gotten me to where I don't want to leave as much. You know, where I'm kind of cool where I'm at just because of the people I know, pro wrestling in Charlotte and North Carolina in general. I feel like this is where I need to be as far as a pro wrestler. Yeah, and we can get the cost of living and all of that, but that's a whole nother story. Uh, but I do love where I'm at. I think everything happens the way it's supposed to. So
Where are
no
you from in
regrets.
Detroit?
East Side, Harper,
Okay.
and Chalmers area.
Okay.
Mm.
Right down the street from Harpo's, GCW runs in Detroit. They run at that venue, literally in the hood, like it's literally down the street from where you know what I mean. So everybody say they run in Detroit. Everybody say they from Detroit, but them running at Harpo's, that's in Detroit. You can't fake that. That's the most authentic part of Detroit you can get.
Okay.
So yeah.
Okay.
Our
I've been
very own Mashout King went to Detroit when SummerSlam was there, I do believe, right, Mashout?
yeah. Well, I've been to Detroit
Mm,
like 5 times already.
Right,
yeah.
right,
So
yeah.
yeah,
So I guess he
yeah.
would be the closest thing to Detroit on this show. And of course, the late, great Aretha Franklin, right? She's from there, right?
Yes.
And the Clark
Absolutely.
sisters and the Luxury, a lot of people
Hmm.
from
Hmm.
Soul Motown. Um,
Eminem.
it- yeah,
Yes.
Eminem.
Yep.
What was the time gap between when you first seen like professional wrestling and then it hooked you to when you started training?
Okay. I've been watching wrestling since I was like at least two. Because I do remember, I remember being in preschool drawing like pro wrestlers and stuff like that, like drawing the SmackDown stage with the oval. You know, what I mean, that was me. I was that kid. So at least two, right?
Okay.
1999 would have been my
Mm.
very first experience of pro wrestling, and then training started January 2020.
Okay.
Mm.
Yeah. So
How
right
was
before
like
the
that
pandemic.
journey? What was it like? The bug bit you. Of course, you've been watching it since you were younger. We all was.
Hmm.
Certain people took us certain places. We got the 10-time going for the 11 Park State champion right here, and Big Daddy Food Sour Diesel. We pursue it in the way of wrestling analysts here.
Hmm.
What was that experience like? Like telling people, you don't want to be a biomedic doctor, you don't want to be a lawyer, you want to be a professional wrestler. How was
Right.
that received?
I feel like as a kid, it's like, oh, okay, cool. Oh, okay, that's nice, that's nice. As you get older, it's kind of like, okay, yada yada yada. You really just gotta show results. You know what I mean? Which is why anytime that I get a chance to perform in front of my friends and family, I let them know that it's worth it. You know what I mean? That their support is worth it, and I'm not just messing around. Like I'm serious about this. I can get somewhere with this. You know what I mean? And I'm also making money any way I can. You know what I mean? Like I'm not struggling. Put it that way. You know what I mean? Like I'm able to get everything done while also pursuing pro wrestling.
Okay.
So I'm
Okay.
very dedicated in what I'm doing. You know.
Okay.
Mhm.
Have you had your Shangri-La moment? Of course not. I mean, you're still working toward it, but at least between your family now realizing like, hey, this is something I really want to do, something I really want to pursue. After they come to a show and say, oh, this is what it was you were destined to do, and what did that feel like?
hmm Uh, I may have had a couple.
Okay.
Uh, I know the very first time I wrestled in Detroit, a lot of them came out. Like a lot of my family came out. Like legitimately 50% of that crowd was my family.
Okay.
So that was dope. I hope that was a moment, but if not, I think DreamCon was definitely a moment. I
Okay.
had so many people reach out to me after that in my family, friends and family, but a lot of people in my family, especially after being on a agent stream, which got so many views. I had people, I had a lot of my cousins reaching out, my auntie reached out about it. I didn't even know they knew agent, you know what I mean? But then they reached out about that, and yeah, that was dope.
All right, we're gonna go a little bit into our turnbuckle talk and talk a little bit about professional wrestling. We're gonna toss it over to Mash out. Then we'll be back, ask you some more questions. You can also chime in, feel free to voice your opinion or not voice your opinion. But it's a nation conversation, so we like to voice your opinion just a little bit. Mash out King, what do you got on the
Oh,
docket for the turnbuckle talk?
here we go again. All right. So I was talking about Night of Champions before.
Yeah,
So I
right.
know that we was off the last week. So so the king and queen of the ring.
Okay.
All right. The queen of the ring became Jade Cargill. The king of the ring became Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is the king of the ring.
Yep. I
Half
seen it.
Cuban Cody Rhodes. The
Why you
grandson of a plumber, Cody Rhodes.
why you sound so shocked?
I'm not shocked. I'm disappointed.
Why? Well, the shit is written on the wall, people. You can see it. You knew how that was gonna go. You know it. And then Cody's gonna turn heel. Because you can see John is clearly turning back into a face. This is what's going to happen. Cody is not going to beat John Cena at SummerSlam. So probably the next pay-per-view after that, that's when he's going to go heel. He's going to do heelish-like tactics at SummerSlam.
Cody Rhodes has been a heel to me.
And to me right now, it's looking like AEW is winning in WWE. That's what it looks like to me.
Wait, break that one down for us.
You have Jade Cargill and you have Cody Rhodes, the king and queen of the ring, who are two people who came from another rival promotion in AEW. And it's like, for me, I feel like WWE is like they're trying to get as much talent as they can because yes, some talent is getting old, so some people have to get phased out. But I believe when I see it, they are putting they putting people on a pedestal that wasn't here for the long fight, and I don't like that.
So you don't feel like their positions that they're in was really earned.
Not no Jade Cargill. Cody I can take because Cody I can take because I understand where they're trying to go, so I get that. But Jade Cargill, no.
Wait a second. This is a little confusing. You
should
were in
have,
Jade's corner, like
yeah,
for like.
did because see, and this is where y'all mix me up and y'all think I'm a hypocrite. No, I can like her, but I can still say that she's not ready for that. She's not ready.
Wait a second. I wish rest in peace to Warner Wolf because he used to say, "Let's go to the videotape," The fact is that I'm sitting here saying we should go back when I said this at Mania.
You can
I said
see
this at Mania that this
they
woman is
forcing
not
her.
ready for stardom. I said that.
No, you said that. It is true. But now we see it. Okay, after WrestleMania, WrestleMania, you did good with Naomi because you was fighting Naomi. Let's keep it a buck, right? Then after that, you kind of had like a showing when she came out and challenged Tiffany Stratton. I'll take that because it's Tiffany Stratton. But now when you going up against fucking Oscar, that I don't believe that shit. I don't believe no fucking Jade Cargill can beat no Oscar. They did that to make Jade Cargill look strong. I get it. Ew, give her this win. Nigga, the finish was sloppy as fuck.
Yeah,
But this was not the first time. This woman is not. She got the look. She got the look. Give her that. She got the look. She don't got the moves. Right now, she does not have the moves. And the fact is that I'm not even upset that they gave her the queen of the ring. I'm not upset about that. The reason why I'm not upset about that is for one simple fact that you know what? I'm happy somebody black.
Me too.
Okay, well, I'm happy to somebody black. But
okay, now what if that's one of the reasons? Now what if it's that?
Then let it be.
Fine.
Well, then let it be. Like the Beatles record, let it be. Because then, so I want to talk Cody Rhodes for a second. You said I know where we're going with this, because he's going to go heel and whatever. However, like to quote random thought, however, comma, the fact is that every time someone gets the King of the Ring, that is to boost their career. Okay, it is to take their career to the next level. We never put established people into the King of the Ring. Okay, we do not put established people in.
Okay. Are we saying that? Are we saying that for every King of the Ring winner, or are we just saying that for some exceptional King of the Ring winners? Because there are some people.
Go ahead.
There are some people that it wasn't a career changer for them. I.e., Xavier Woods.
Bad booking. Zelina Vega with the same situation. Bad booking. The fact is that you can't blame them for what they're given. Okay, you cannot blame them for what they're given. They have to go by the script. That's what it is. You just said it's a script, right? So you have to go by the script. The fact of the matter is that it should not have been Cody Rhodes. If we're gonna get to Cody Rhodes and John Cena, we could have done it a whole different way.
The fact of the matter is also to add along with that point is unfair because nigga, the King of the Ring tournaments before that, motherfuckers wasn't giving. Oh yeah, SummerSlam, you go get a title shot.
Right, but that is all that's changed.
That's
all that. But that still proves my point. The fact is that why is it that automatically Cody Rhodes is back in the spotlight again? Like the man never left. We right back where we started from.
When did he leave the spotlight?
That's what I'm saying. Like I'm talking about when he took his break and everything. So he's right back where he is. He didn't have to really work to get back where he is. He's the face of the company all over again. And that's my issue in terms of him winning the King of the Ring. I thought that should have went to somebody else that more needed it.
But we all know that Cody is the face of the product. So why would he go back to the back of the line? And when he goes to the back of the line, it's going to look stupid of him trying to climb back up top because we know that they're just forcing him. They just giving us that. They just feeding us that for the sake of feeding us to us because they already know they could automatically just put him in. It don't make no sense. He's Cody Rhodes. He's the face. He's the new guy now.
I feel like the story when Cody lost at Mania to Cena was a whole beginning of a redemption story to Cody getting back eventually or trying to get back to the title and seeing what ensues after that. So to me, I feel like, I'm gonna have to agree with with D. Like we see this thing happening. A little bit about Jade Cargill. It's true. Maybe she's the one who has to go through trial by fire. Remember, Nikki Bella was not a good wrestler in the beginning. She was not. She was horrible, right? But she got in there through experience, having different matches. training, with John Cena, training with Daniel Bryan, training with anybody who can help her get some fluidity in the ring. And maybe this is probably the case with Jade Cargill. Everybody is not going to have it. And yes, there's people there who do have it. And there's also people who do not have it. Let's remember, Nia Jax won the last Queen of the Ring. She went on to, win the title. She had a run. She had a run. Was it long enough or what she expected? No. Maybe this is just a space and a place for Jade to get into to tie into the Naomi story, which I feel like I see coming a mile away.
Maybe this is her calm before the storm.
Okay, that was good. That was good. Anything else, Mashup?
I got a lot more else, but
Okay,
the fact
go
is
ahead.
that I know you guys closed that out. I'm still not with this. I think this is a bad move, putting this man as the winner of the King of the Ring.
So who would you have liked to see go on?
Anybody else?
Randy Orton?
Anybody else? Maybe.
I mean, because those are the last two contenders of it. Like
Yeah,
really
maybe.
go back and look at the card of the semifinals and all that, and you tell me which talent, which participant could have been the one to face John Cena.
I don't think necessarily. I'm going to tie this into the World Heavyweight Championship. I don't think necessarily this had to have went to John Cena. I think that the fact that we should have pivoted the other way and not have Goldberg be the face, of Saturday Night Main Event, which we're going to get to next, is the road we should have went down in terms of this, not in terms of the WWE Championship. I really don't think that this made the most sense or whatever, because what you're doing is, I understand, that they want to get the title ultimately back on Cody to him be heel. I get that. All right. We're going to do a switch around. But I just thought that was a different way of getting it, because I think that this could have elevated and boosted somebody else. That was all I'm saying in terms of that spot.
Okay, I go with you right there. So then I believe both title changes were just ultimately wrong, because, all right, if you don't want to see John Cena, all right, I agree with you. I feel like the John Cena and Cody thing should go a little longer, but it's SummerSlam, so it's automatic. It feels like it's that big match feel. It's the rematch from WrestleMania. So I kind of get that. And the other part is, okay, Jey Uso should never have lost the title to Gunther, so Gunther can now defend it against fucking Goldberg. That's dumb.
Goldberg's a speed bump. Goldberg is a speed bump. We're doing more than Goldberg ever done in between the ropes, okay? Goldberg is a speed bump. This is all to add to Gunther's, viciousness, and to build up Gunther to be this unstoppable, breakable kind of thing that they've been already building. Goldberg is here nor there, okay? That Saturday Night Main Event, we know that the title's not going to change hands. The match will be all of 9 minutes. We understand that. The bigger picture here is what we started to see develop on Raw when everybody was confused at Night of Champions with the finishes, is the now CM Punk crossing paths with Gunther and finally maybe finding his way to fight for the world champion, which was his ultimate goal. And Seth now being at a spot where he can ruin that for him, being Mr. Money in the Bank.
Okay. That's a possibility. All right. So moving on to next weekend, right? We have a double hitter weekend. So we have Saturday Night Main Event and WWE's Evolution 2. Okay.
And that's the what you call it next week?
Great American Bash.
Great American Bash next week as well. However, so we're running into a little issue here before I get to go back to Saturday night's main event. We're running into a little issue in terms of WWE Evolution. Okay. So currently the ticket sales are extremely low. All right. They only have sold 4,800 tickets for the event as of earlier this morning. Right. So there's going to be a big push this week on both shows to see if they could move these ticket sales a little bit further. Now, I remember a few years ago when us three first started doing the show, we talked about WWE Evolution, the first one, right? And I don't remember who posed the question that said, do we think there would be a second one? And I said probably not, because I said that I just don't see this as a full pay-per-view worthy to do, right? Nothing against the women of professional wrestling, but I said that the idea is if you want to move ticket sales and things of that nature, you're going to have to still have a encompass pay-per-view. However, okay, um, you know, is it possible? Yeah, but I'm going to turn it over to Brandon. Thoughts you was D started off last time, Brandon. So ticket sale 4,800. What is how do you feel?
Well, I mean, one, because again, my original idea behind the PLEs, the specials, I understand they took away live events. Them being so close is you kind of back yourself into a booking war where you do not know how to book and give the stories enough time to breathe to want to get people in the seats, right? They're using it by names, right? Out of nowhere, we see a SmackDown, now it's Trish Stratus, which I understand. I was talking with my other fellas and they was like, why Trish Stratus? I said, because when someone tunes in, to see that, to see evolution. They want to be able to see people they recognize, the leaders, the Trish Stratus, the Nikki Bellas. Everyone is maybe not familiar. I don't know where they've been, with a Jade Cargill, with a Charlotte Flair, with a Roxanne Perez. So what they're gonna have to do is really make the story. I don't know what they're gonna do in these. I would have not even focused really on main event. I would have really focused on evolution, being that you want this to be, something that superseded the last thing. So I don't know what it is that they're gonna do. I feel like mommy put butts in seats. So as long as like mommy's on the card, you throw in a few people that they like, they should be all right. I think the idea behind thinking like, oh, it's gonna be, this is an all woman pay per view, only women are gonna show up. No, like everyone who has a love and appreciation for the women in professional wrestling should be able to purchase a ticket if you're in the Atlanta area. And Atlanta should love women wrestling. A lot of them think that they're women wrestlers. So I mean, whatever, that's getting up there. But go and purchase a ticket and enjoy Evolution too.
D, you agree with Brandon's assessment of the situation when it comes to the low ticket sales, you know, uh, for WWE Evolution 2?
No, I don't agree. What I do have to say is WWE, you screwed the pooch. And by that is you have too many events running on the same weekend, and then you have AEW all out, all in, whatever the fuck it is. I don't know what it is. I don't know if you're trying to do some competition here, but what you're going to do is when you're going to lose a lot. It's too fucking much, and it takes away from the women's PLE. It takes away from them, and then not only that, the build up. You have so much shit going on that weekend that the build ups to get there are fucking lackluster because you don't know what build up is for what fucking PLE.
Mm-hmm.
So you're like, oh, I forgot main event is happening that weekend too. It's too much. It takes away from the women. And I feel like they had too much expectancy when it comes to the ticket sales. I feel like they should have just made it like an intimate setting for the women. Being that last time go around it was low ticket sales, they should have went in it the same time, like thinking like that too. And I also feel like they should have treated this like a first time promotion. You know what I mean? Because you don't know what to expect. So let's just say, hey, let's just do it like this, and then we'll see where it goes from there. And then years go on, then you know what you need to do. I just feel like it's overbooking, no booking. Where's Stephanie back here? Because if you want to get ass in seats, we already know. I do agree with Brandon. Mommy will put asses in seats, but had Stephanie Vaquer be on the card, she'll put some asses in seats too because she's another fucking fan favorite. I just feel like I said, it's too much.
Okay. Here's the crazy part about this. The 4,800 people the tickets were bought, for maybe have been mommy. It may have been for mommy because I feel like this is at a point where this is sad because now you're going into AEW territory, renting a big arena and not being able to fill it out. You know what I'm saying? Like that is a territory you don't want to go down because here's the thing. Right now, AEW is clipping on the heels of the WWE in terms of they're starting to finally cook, right? So the fact is that we got to be extremely careful with this event because again, I'm not sexist, but I just thought that I did not think this was going to be able to do a full sellout. And Saturday night's main event, just to go to those ticket numbers, are at 12,000. And that's all obviously because this is an event that Bill Goldberg's final match is supposed to be that night as well. That hopefully, praise God. So the fact is that they're at 12,000 ticket sales and 4,800 for Sunday. So that's really crazy. You know what I mean? Hopefully those numbers get a little bit better. But nonetheless,
what they doing for NXT? Then? Fuck.
I think so too. I think so too. I think that they overshot. I think you said that before. I think they overshot. I think that
3 shows.
Yeah, I think this was to crush All In or All Out or wherever the fuck.
Why don't they just combine everybody from everything? Hey, that should see the Evolution. That could be your seat at NXT. That could be your seat at. Just everybody come on over to fill up the arena. Make it a 3-for-1 deal. Make sure the building is packed. You get to see Mommy, Trish Stratus, Oba Femi. You get to see the whole thing. So that's what they should do. Father's Day.
I feel like Evolution should have came after like SummerSlam.
Agreed. I totally agree. Agree. Because what if you get returns? There's normally like a return or something that happens at SummerSlam, and then that would be able to, that could be like their backlash or they fall out from, SummerSlam. So I agree with that 200%.
All right. So, all right. The rumor mill is heavy because Triple H have allegedly been in contact with somebody from AEW to come over to the WWE. And word on the street is one of 2 people, right? First one being Edge, and the second one being Chris Jericho.
More like it.
It's the 2 people that is in discuss that we might see make their return at SummerSlam. So we know that both contracts are up this year for both of them, and they said possibly Daniel Bryan as well. Is the third person. The 2 honorable mentions is one is Private Party. Is another people that might be signed by the WWE, and also I don't know why, but Danhausen is they're also interested in signing with the WWE as well. So having said all that, when it comes down to Chris Jericho, Edge, how are you guys feeling? Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel, Chris Jericho, Edge, who you think is going to make their return back?
It's crazy because I was talking so much shit about them niggas over the years. I wouldn't even care. But if this was to somehow do something for John Cena's last run, I'm with that. Because who else is going to fight John Cena? It seems like it's all of his past rivals. So I'm with that. And as far as like the like I said, I don't really care. So wherever they go, hey, best to them. And maybe with all the shitty ideas that Jericho had over there at AEW, it can now somehow work in WWE. And I
definitely want to hear Judas sing in a WWE show. Random thoughts. What are your thoughts?
Yay to Jericho. You already know what I'm gonna say about Edge. Nay to Edge. You went over there and you rallied the troops. You got everybody, all 165 people in the arena to rally behind you.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you say something, you should be a man and stick to it. In terms of Private Party, those are one of the groups. Of course, when we had our illustrious conversation on who belongs in WWE and who belongs in AEW, I said that was a team that I can see them working through, especially if it's like a passing on the torch with the Hardy Boys on to someone like them, especially with we see the developments of tag team and their spotted interest in tag team professional wrestling. Daniel Bryan, I did see that he returned at one of the Ring of Honor events. The place went apeshit crazy. The way I kind of feel about Daniel Bryan, Bryan Danielson, is kind of how like a lot of people might feel about Leo Rush. Is like you kind of pull on the heartstrings a little too much for me. I mean, if you come, you come. If you don't, you don't. AJ Styles is also retiring in 2026. Allegedly. So to see any of those people come over and intertwine, like my co-host said, with John Cena and or AJ Styles, I mean, I'm here for all of it.
Yeah,
Okay.
I want to see like those legendary last matches.
Yes.
That would be dope.
Like the one this Saturday with Goldberg.
Oh no, 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 not like that.
Nothing, nothing of the sort.
Nothing like that.
Nothing of the sort.
If Bret Hart is not coming out and like giving fucking Goldberg a concussion, I'm not interested.
I can see Brett coming out. What if they just hit his music?
Like that, like if that's not happening,
that's,
this is not.
that's definitely a shoot. That's not. At that point, that's a shoot.
If it's not Ilya Dragunov returning, if it's not Brock Lesnar coming, to say, who's next, I'm next, I'm just not interested.
I got one more story, then that's it.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay, so we're going to jump to SummerSlam. Super Bowl, speaking of ticket sales, right? Mm-hmm. So WWE still struggling to get the ticket sales up for SummerSlam. I actually do have one more story with AEW though. Has ticket sales struggling to get SummerSlam sold out, even with Cardi B hosting both nights of SummerSlam.
You mean some people don't want to be outside?
I guess so.
Outside, yeah. This goes to show you it's just too much going on. It's too much going on. Like I said, you have all these events, and then you have matches building up, and then you back in the days, it will take like a month and a half for a match to build up, maybe even 2 months to build for fucking SummerSlam, right? But in between all that, you have so many other shit going on, so it's just impossible. So it's hard for people to get invested into that, and especially with the ticket prices. Like, come on. You building up for fucking main event. You're building up for Evolution. You're building up for Saudi Arabia. I'm forgetting about SummerSlam. The fuck?
I mean, I would have to second that. Also, they allegedly are building SummerSlam up as like, of course, this is the first 2-night SummerSlam, so they of course wants it to be like SummerSlam was always intended to be the like summer version of WrestleMania. So I think once they start getting closer to the crowd, I mean, ticket sales, it's like. Oh, well, how many people listen to, the radio today? Sometimes they might not listen while it's on. A lot of people stream, a lot of people go the day of once they start seeing, who's going to be main event and who's going to come, who's going to debut. I mean, I go to shows all the time at MetLife and buy at the gate, which is why I think, Papa H at the end talks about the gate numbers. I buy there. So if you can talk about the ticket sales in advance, doesn't mean that by the time the night of the event, it won't be sold out. WWE, you got a lot of things to do to build it up in that such way for it to be sold out. We'll see.
Listen, let me tell you something. They will never, ever produce a SummerSlam 97. Was that SummerSlam 97 when Sean hit Brett? No.
Heart and Soul? Yeah.
They will never produce that, and they will never produce a Highway to Hell SummerSlam. And that's all I got to say about the city. That's all I got to say about that. That's when the ladder match between The Rock.
Triple H and The Rock?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wasn't it like a yellow ladder?
Yeah. Triple H had I
think it was, yeah. All right.
I think it was 98, though.
Okay. I think it was 98. Highway to Hell was 98.
Yeah, because it was going for the IC title, and by 99, The Rock was going for the WWE Championship.
Yeah.
So, last story on least AEW news again. All right. So now the rumor is saying that that if Hangman Adam Page is not the guy to dethrone Jon Moxley, who it seems to be that all three of us now believe it is going to be that guy, then they're saying that Swerve might figure out his way into the picture to get that title.
See, but here's the thing. Oh, you didn't pick me. Sorry.
No, well, go ahead, B.
Wait, go ahead.
See, here's the thing. It's all in Texas. Like, and I can be someone who say when something is right. To me, what they have been doing so far has been building up for the cowboy-ish guy to win in a place like Texas.
Mm-hmm.
He's been having this storyline. It will be completely asinine. Not that AEW and or WWE haven't done asinine things before, but it would be completely asinine for this man to not win in the state and the place that he is in Texas and dethroning John Moxley, especially since he might be one of the people rumored to come back home to WWE too. But go ahead.
Why
Cool.
would it be a devastation if you don't beat him in Texas when he's from Virginia?
Because you have Texas all in, he's a cowboy. It's a place of the home of the rodeo.
No, but
the symbol is also like a cowboy, like the belt buckle. Like
it's going to be a Texas death match. So, and I believe he always kind of wins those, doesn't he?
That's like his Triple H in the Hell in the Cells, right?
Yeah, I
In
believe.
the Hell in the Cells.
So I believe. Oh well, listen, more and more to them. Whatever they need to do to get Moxley off the title. You know what? Here's the thing. They're trying to treat this like a Roman thing, or like like how we be like how we sat there for 4 years, like who the fuck is gonna be the one to get the title off of Roman, like, and how they gonna do it? But here lies in AEW. No one gives a fuck. Just get it off of him. He's trash. He is garbage. He is John Moxley is worse than Brownsville. And y'all not from New York City. If you have been here, then you know what I'm talking about. He is worse than that. Cannot stand him.
It's interesting because what is he going to do after you don't have the title?
He better not bring his ass back over here. I'll tell you that much. Don't bring him over here.
Well, he can come back. They can do a Shield reunion. That can be the man who comes back and surprise after Seth Rollins.
Reunion. I think
after Seth Rollins won the world title, this could be the man to come back and surprise and defeats him. Being that they always lose to each other. Who freaking knows? But please don't come over here, please. Listen to this man.
It'll be that final triple threat match that we would really want to see. Besides, like the what was it, Roman, Punk, and Seth.
Mm-hmm.
It'll be the Shield triple threat. Did they ever have that at one point? Did they have that before he left?
I feel like they did.
I feel like they did.
If they did, it wouldn't be to this magnitude.
Because they're now all bigger, larger than life than what they was.
Well, yes, Seth and Roman is.
But I mean,
and larger than
give John Moxley.
No, he was the world. I will not have that.
He's saying that now. He's saying that. I'm telling you
okay,
because this is the guy who championed for Dean Ambrose.
Let me stop.
Okay, go ahead. Okay, all right.
I do believe with the character that John Moxley have, it will do more justice in WWE. Because they will give him the bullet points. He already know what he has to do. He get the bullet points, and he can just go off and do what he do. And I believe it will work better in WWE. So I can
they're comparing his promos now to the Ultimate Warrior.
Ultimate Warrior has some good promos.
I don't know ever. When?
He did.
I don't
he
know.
Had some good promos.
When
he had the rivalry with Papa Shango.
That's not even a real rivalry. That wasn't even a real rivalry. What was that, like 2 weeks?
See, you remember it.
That was like 2 weeks.
This nigga was playing Captain Planet. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about.
I remember when he did the promo, I think it was Brutus Beefcake.
Okay.
I was completely lost in the sauce. I didn't know what the fuck he was talking about. And I mean, it could have been because I was a little kid, but the fact is, watching that promo over as an adult, and I was like, I still don't know what the hell he was talking about.
I used to think his name was Brutus the Barber Briefcase. I never knew his name was Beefcake. I wasn't calling it that. That is wild.
We had no
Yo,
choice.
Vince is wild. You know he had one of them things. He said, "Here, you
No,
want
he came in the company with that name.
Yep.
huh?"
He came in with that name. He's been had that name. He came in with it. All right, that's it what I got for this week.
Okay. Well, I did want to add that a big shout out to you. You mentioned him a little bit earlier as one of the people who might be, who might cross over to the WWE side was Dan Housen. He recently had a baby, so shout out to him.
Congrats
Life,
to him.
The evolution of life goes on. Roman Reigns is on kid number 6.
Yes.
Lonnie Jordan and Carmelo is engaged, what they do to them. Congrats to them. Black love is still strong no matter what's going on in other worlds. We got to move on. That's all you have on the docket.
That's it.
I say let's move on to our Mr. Perfect.
I was gonna say what y'all think about the
Go ahead, D.
What y'all think of? Y'all heard about the rumors that they're going to be giving Aleister Black the push?
Well, he deserves one.
I haven't heard that rumor.
Yeah, it came out over the weekend. It was him, and it was somebody else. Forgive me, but Aleister Black is one of the guys they're working on giving the.
Here's the question I have, right? I know that there's no real breaking up the brands, right? And I know that Penta is on Raw and Ray Phoenix is on SmackDown, but they put Ray Phoenix with Andrade as a tag team as opposed to put in.
Because I believe it'll be a way for Andrade to turn heel.
Okay, so this is a Ray Phoenix. I was thinking, I was like, is this a Ray Phoenix Andrade thing building? Because
both these guys, like Andrade and Aleister Black, they work better as heels, I believe. And I feel like Aleister Black will get more heat with being a heel, and people will be more like, you know what I mean? Because I see that he's trying to look like he's going into a program with Truth and Damian Priest.
And
Speaking
of Damian Priest, he was spotted at a Yankees game.
He was at a who?
Yankees he was spotted at a Yankees game. The Yankees, the New York Yankees, the Yankees.
He was fighting that? He was fighting?
No, he was there with Lola Vice.
Oh, I thought you said he was fighting. Oh man, damn.
That's our boy. He was spotted out there. She said her first Yankees game, they had a good time. They was kind of close. I don't know if they was trying to rumor that. I don't know what was going on with that. That ain't mine.
Well, you got. Lord knows we got to change the narrative with him. So
he was first with Kaden Carter allegedly,
but she got released.
She got released, so now he moved on to somebody else who's getting pushed at NXT. Lola Vice. She's trying to help his sister out. Senorita. With that being said, we're gonna move on to the Mr. and Mrs. Perfect award. We acknowledge and vote for someone in professional wrestling who had lots of, talent, who might not have got the push and what it is that they was trying to do, or maybe have won the champion. Fellas, who do you want to nominate this week for the Mr. and or Mrs. Perfect award? Anybody can take it first. I think it's still Saudi Arabia. Speaking of Saudi Arabia, it's like Riyadh with the fireworks still outside. What's going on?
I'm kind of having a hard choice. I didn't even really think of this one.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah, this one.
You have somebody?
It's a little hard for me this week as well. Yes, I didn't really have anybody that came to mind this week.
That's fine. All right, so we can move on to the wrestler of the week. This is going to be one of the quickest shows we have ever had. This is the summer of summers. Okay, this is one of the quickest shows, and I'm okay with it. There's no complaints here. Wrestler of the week, fellas. You might not have thought who should have been nominated, who don't get the credit and which they deserve, but there's been a lot of wrestling, as y'all said. WWE is booking, AEW, you got MLW. There's a lot going on. We got TNA. Who is your wrestler of the week?
My wrestler of the week is Cero Miedo.
Really?
Okay,
Okay.
that was mine
Okay.
too.
I like what they're doing with him. It's seeming like they, you know what I mean? They're not playing with him. They put him everywhere in there. You know what I mean? He's mixing it up with in that Seth storyline. So I like that. And then and Cero Miedo is my
That was mine this week as well. So I'm gonna go. That's crazy. It's crazy.
Well,
Bad
that's
man
good.
think alike. You know. But I'm going to go with somebody different. Then I'm gonna go with CM Punk because I did like the match against John Cena.
What? And you
What?
know we gonna go. Yeah, get your finish. I'm sorry. I apologize. My apologies.
At Night of Champions, the match with Cena at Night of Champions.
Yes.
Those two, I
That
mean, always give a good. I can't even
we
front. I
we
think
we
I've
we,
enjoyed.
speak, we didn't speak on that. And then the Punk Life promo.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Random. Who you got?
No, I was saying that I kind of enjoy watching CM Punk and Cena feud more than I actually enjoyed the thousand times that we got Cena and Orton, which is why I didn't know when you were saying, somebody else could have got the King of the Ring, and it was like Orton was the runner up while he was going with Orton. My wrestler of the week is actually going to be somebody from MLW who took on Kushida a few weeks ago. He was like real fast, fearless, unforgettable. He's by the name of Diego Hill. Real dope in the ring. He was working before, but he wasn't popping like he was popping right now. I don't know. He wasn't doing the over red and Baku, but he had a match with Kushida and MLW that was crazy. I saw it on YouTube. I do not watch MLW all the time. I don't even know where to find it. But I did see that match on
Comes on
MLW. So,
YouTube.
huh?
I think it comes on YouTube.
Yeah, I saw it. I ended up seeing. I was watching the whole Ashe thing, and then it came up next. And
Yeah.
I was like, oh, shoot, let me sit here and watch this whole thing. I was like, who's on here that I'm going to know? And I had seen Diego Hill fight before. But he's known as the dive bomb. Real fast, real fearless. I like what they got going on. I feel like, again, with the representation, like with Javon Evans, like this like hyphy, I don't know what movement this is with these wrestlers that's like high flying, they real bouncy, but they putting in the paint, and he kind of represents that. I don't know who brought the error in. I'm just saying Javon
I
Evans
think I
because
think it's
he's
that. I think it's the
yeah, right. That whole crew, whatever's going on, like how they mixing that into wrestling, I am definitely here for that. Is there anything else on the docket, fellas, in professional wrestling right here, right now, as a free fall that you want to bring up for us to discuss before we take it up out of here?
Chavo Guerrero.
Appreciate it.
Chavo Guerrero recently being signed into WWE.
Okay.
So that's a good look.
Vicky's coming with him?
I'm sorry, what?
Vicky's
Yes.
coming with him?
Yes, she is. She
Yeah.
just signed a new agreement with the WWE as well.
Yeah.
Is it a Hall of Fame Legends contract, or is it they're going to be on screen? We're about to get ready to have them incorporated inside the
more
storyline.
than
Are y'all ready for
likely
that?
more than likely they'll probably be on screen because I feel like if she do come back, or maybe Chavo's coming, right? And like I said, Andrade will be probably go heel turning on Phoenix. I could see Chavo probably being the manager for Andrade, or maybe Vicky, either or. I could see
I don't
that.
even. I never, for some reason, I don't trust Chavo Guerrero. I never did. He did. The man didn't do nothing to me. I don't even know the man personally, but I don't trust him. So I don't know who he's gonna partner with, but I
I
don't
mean,
trust him.
along those lines, they're signing so many other people from the AAA
Mm-hmm.
deal. The Psycho Clown, the girl. I'm gonna just call her Fajita. Chicken. and,
Oh, but when I call him a pinata, you.
and I think it was what was it Octagon Junior, that one, the fake Pentagon.
But they're not really signing people because they're already in the WWE.
But I
Or
believe
you mean bringing them over?
to WWE.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So it's gonna be like the AAA WWE, but they're gonna be on WWE.
I really want to do, maybe the next episode, a full talk about that buying because I'm not for that. I really think this was a stab at the AEW. This purchase of AAA was a
Mm-hmm.
stab at
Acquisition with AAA.
AEW. I think that obviously, we don't have that much time to do that whole conversation, but I think that this was a purchase to try to put the nail in the coffin of AEW when it comes to Mexico. Because frankly, when do you know the WWE does Mexican events? They do more house shows more than anything. So
wait, time out. They have a heap load of talent that's
acquisition talent from the Mexican
I'm
background.
talking about a AAA primarily broadcast from Mexico. All right. So the fact is that AEW has been doing events in Mexico in terms of television, for like at least the last 3 years. So for them to come in and buy AAA, who a lot of the wrestlers were working in and out between the companies, then now they just put the kibosh onto that, and also it, a lot of wrestlers, and maybe, not to throw him into the fray, but he's on with a Jordan Hall could have went down to Mexico, to AAA, but that's dead. Okay, that's dead because now you have to go through the WWE machine in order, to wrestle on I was gonna say Mexican television, but that's not what I was trying to say.
But they have CMLL, isn't that a Mexican?
But CMLL is not what AAA is. It's not. It's CMLL.
Well, tell that to AEW and their partnership with them, because
but they were partnering also with AAA. They were using AAA talent as well.
And you know what they were doing? They were fucking over AAA. That's
how
what they were doing.
How?
They were not letting their talent get over.
What are you talking about?
Come on, we see it.
So Penta didn't get over.
What?
Penta
was directly signed to AEW.
But that was
signed from AAA.
When he first started, he was
came from AAA.
Yeah.
But when he signed to AEW, listen, when I seen Penta on that screen, I known him he's AEW now. I seen him places. I know him, but he's AEW at that time.
AAA was AAA for a lot of people was a stepping stone for them, into professional wrestling. AAA, the lineage of AAA goes all the way back to like the 1980s. So they were, a lot of people went through AAA. Also, here's another fucked up fact while we're talking about it. They don't let Alberto Del Rio come back. That man was the fucking champion. Okay? That man was the damn champion of the company. And now, so technically he works for the WWE. Technically.
I mean, we talked about the Shield possibly having a triple threat match. Nobody wants to see the League of Nations.
Ain't nobody trying to see that either. Ain't nobody trying to see that.
We already got 3 or 4.
But here's the thing. I'm pretty sure they're gonna release Del Rio, and let him go to CMLL because he's technically a WWE. He's on their payroll now.
I mean, I would like to see him back in WWE. I mean, he is the best speaking English of what?
You was behind Dragon Lee, the pinata. Y'all was all Dragon Lee.
I'm sorry. But we all know he speaks better on the mic than the rest of them.
Not based on his level of understanding, but he does better promos.
Yes, he does better
promos.
We go.
Yes. Okay.
I understand him. I understand him, but he gives better promos.
Right.
Y'all know who I don't understand?
I know.
You know who I don't understand? I'm not gonna hold you. I don't understand Io Sky. Because
it's the promos. It's the promos that because sometimes the promo don't hit the way it's supposed to hit.
Listen, I understand. Yes. I believe in Io Sky, and I like it when she cuts her promos into her language because I know it's much authentic.
Okay, that's understandable.
Who knows? Maybe, right? Who knows? Maybe.
That's just like when the Spanish lady gets upset on 145th and Broadway, and she starts going off in Spanglish. You know what I mean? Like it happens. It's more because they're more passionately involved in what it is that they're saying and do it. It could be it could come off. a little bit better. But I don't know what's going on. I understand Oscar. Like I get Oscar. This is not like a. I'm saying because it's Japanese. Like I
Do you know what?
understand
In
Oscar.
terms of the promos,
Yes, the
yes,
promo. This
the
is what we're
promo.
talking about.
Yes.
We're talking
Allegedly.
about their promo work.
It
This
doesn't
is the
alleged.
subject right here.
Allegedly.
The promo.
Allegedly. I got it.
Okay.
I got you.
I'm definitely talking about the promos.
Allegedly.
It's the promo.
Allegedly.
The promo. There's nothing alleged.
Oh, am I supposed to use the legend on that?
No,
No.
because we're talking the promo.
Oh,
no,
I was saying
the answer is no.
allegedly. Allegedly.
Yeah.
That's what your Stratus and them should be. That is good. Did our guest leave or what? Because we could ask where for people individual. Oh, we don't know. Okay, so we're gonna just move on to I guess the
Well,
final thoughts. I had a few more
if I have
questions.
if I have a baby with a, I'm gonna name him a legend Lee.
Ah,
Very creative. Very creative.
very very creative. Our final words. Was that your final words?
Yeah, my final words is breathe in, breathe out.
Okay.
Don't let your brain get overworked. How WWE is overworking these goddamn shows, like week in and week out. Like it's just too much. Like I ain't gonna lie to you, I miss Night of Champions. Really did. I only saw the John Cena and what you call match. I was like, oh shit, it's on.
Oh, you was outside.
No, I was very
Oh,
much inside.
but you just forgot that it came. But
Yeah,
it came
that
on
too.
early,
Then I was
right?
like,
Is that what it was? It came on early.
what time was it supposed to come on?
1 o'clock or something like 11, 1
Yeah, I thought it
o'clock.
was supposed to come on at 6, 8 in the morning. I was doing that, and then I was like, you know what, fuck this shit.
I think it might have been 1 in the afternoon because I remember it being over and I was like, oh shoot, the whole day. I like those. Like I'm looking forward to the Royal Rumble being there because if that's what we're gonna deal with
I
Royal
am not
Rumble,
looking forward to that. No,
that's gonna be
no.
January.
I'm not trying to see 30 women in the ring with fucking shirts on, long sleeves on. I
They
am
don't
not
wear
trying
that
to
no
see
more.
that
They wear the
shit.
nice cat suits and things.
I don't want to see fucking superheroes.
That's what
My
they are
final
to some
thought.
people.
Oh my gosh, that is so. You know what? I'm not from there. That is their government, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
My final thought is.
Huh?
I
I said, don't let your brain get overworked like how WWE is working these goddamn shows. It's
And
stressful.
yours mash out.
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
You're
My final thought is persistence always overcomes resistance.
See what I was doing there? COE.
Oh, that was a good one. I don't think mine is as nice. But here goes. Anyway, the brand of thought would be some people create their own storms and get mad when it rains. Those people who create their own drama deserve their own karma. Those who stir the shit spoon needs to have to lick. No, those who stir the shitty pot needs to lick the shitty spoon. That's the random thought of the day. Thank y'all so much for tuning into
I swear to
another
God.
great episode of the Three Amigos podcast show. You know where to find us. That's DATHREEAMIGOS on Instagram. And we are the Three Amigos podcast1@gmail.com for questions and concerns. I don't know what happened to our host, Mr. Jordan Ho. Maybe we'll have him come back. We'll see. I asked some more questions in
Can I
the
just
game.
add something there? Can I just
Go
add
ahead.
something
Go on
there?
ahead. Of course you can.
Every time you drop that jewel, my friend, I know it's for me to pick it up so I can shine.
That's right. Amen. That's right. It's for everybody.
And also too, it always sounds like I'm watching the ending of Moesha.
All right. Good night, folks.
The beginning or the ending. Adios, amigos. We thank you so much for tuning in for another episode. Remember to like, subscribe, and share. This is the Three Amigos Show. I'm Brandon Thoughts. That's Big Daddy Cool Sour Diesel. That's the Mash Out King. Adios, amigos.
NOC Nation.